Are you stuck thinking that it's too late to make a change after 60? Is that kind of where you're at in your thinking? Let's talk about it today. Hey everybody, this is Bryant, the over 60 guy, and today I'm just walking out my 1 hour, a little bit late. A little bit late today, but a different walk today. It's really pretty out today. So yeah, I'm the over 60 guy, and this is my channel. If you're a first time guest, welcome. We like to talk about encouraging things for people in their 60s and beyond. And so sometimes I think at our age we think, oh man, it's too late, I'm just gonna coast by, I'll just nap a little bit, I'll just eat a little bit more, watch a little more TV, and get stuck. I mean, we all have things that we wish we'd have started earlier, started earlier on our fitness, started earlier on our financing, started earlier on relationships. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we wish that we could start. We should have started last year, the year before, or 5 years ago. But sometimes you just gotta get up and say, I'm making a change. And I remember when I was approaching 40, my wife and I were living in Atlanta at the time, and we were pretty much stuck. I mean, we hadn't had a vacation in years, and I had a business that went down, and I was working new job in technology and traveling a lot, and just really I got out of shape. I was overweight, and it was pretty much a miserable time. And I thought, man, what are we gonna do? And my wife had been talking to me for a while about, Bryant, you should go back in the military. You already have 8 years. Or actually it was around 10 years between your National Guard and your active duty. You ought to go back in the military. And I resisted her for a while because I'm thinking, man, I'm almost 40, but this was after 9/11, the beginning of the Iraq War. And so finally I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I went down to the MEP station, and I was already back in the National Guard. So I went down to the MEP station. It took me like 3 or 4 times. I said, look, I want to go back in the military full time in the Army, and I want to be a broadcast journalist, and I want to live in Europe. Because I figured that if I was living in Europe, I could get the cost of living. My family and I, we could vacation, we could take some trips, see some of the world. My kids would love to see it. I mean, our big deal was going to Chattanooga, which is a great town, by the way. But I mean, that was pretty much it for us. And so we finally said, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th time, and they said, oh, we're gonna get you in Europe, and you'll be a broadcast journalist. And so I went back in. I was almost 40 years old, and man, was it tough. I mean, I had to do some running and some push-ups and stuff to try to get ready, to go in, but I wasn't really ready. I mean, I was not ready. I remember when I got to Germany, the drill, or the first sergeant at the time, he looked at me and he said, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 40. He said, man, what happened to you? I mean, it was so defeating, right? It was so defeating. But I'm glad that I did it, because I wound up finishing my 40 years, and not 40. I wound up finishing my 26 years. I finished, and I retired military. And so it was great. When I went to Germany, I got in really good shape. We did a lot of workouts, and I remember my boss at the time, he was a workout fiend. And so when my wife finally met back up with me a few months later, she's like, wow, Bryant, what have you been doing? You're in super good shape now. So, and I was. So, but I guess what I'm saying is that I could have not went in. I could have just said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm too old, or whatever. And I was old. for, you know, going back in. I had to go back in as an E4 specialist, but I'm glad I did. I learned a lot. And so I know approaching 60, this is why, you know, I started this channel, because this is the time we get a second chance. This is actually a great time to redo stuff. This is a time to redo things in our life, to redo our dreams, to figure it out, what it is we want to do, to get up off the couch, to get moving, to get shape, to get strong, to get healthy, travel, you know, learn about new things, learn about new technologies, learn about, you know, other cool topics, you know, live out the things that you want to do. So now's the time. It's not time to pull back and quit. It's time to move forward. And the things that you do now, like I say, you know, to my 30-day challenge people, which welcome, by the way, guys. My 30-day challenge people, I always tell them, what you do now is like money in the bank physically. So when you strengthen yourself, when you get more bone density, when you increase your muscle, when you reduce your fat, when you get that vesicular fat away from your organs, I mean, that's like money in the bank, because that's future health. You know, that's future health for you. So my challenge to each of you is to write down your goals and say, what am I going to do for the next 20 years? You know, how am I going to achieve, and how am I going to be great again? And some of you are already doing it. I mean, this is like me talking to the choir, right? Because some of you are already out making big moves and doing way bigger things than I am. So, yeah, but for the rest of us that need encouragement daily, so this is my dose of encouragement. Do not allow your mind to go thinking that you are not enough, that you're too old, that you can't accomplish, because that's just flat out BS. And I'm hoping that you enjoy my channel, and that you're finding encouragement each day. I certainly am encouraged by you. If you like this, if you don't mind hitting the like, boop, and you know, subscribe to my channel, and you know, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what your goals are. Let me know how you're gonna, you know, overcome these next few years and set bigger goals. That'd be great. All right, well, now get walking, get push-ups, and get her done today. All right, God bless. Bye.